You've probably seen videos about the fastest ways to learn Japanese, and usually at some point they all say the same thing: just immerse. But how do you actually do that? Well, today I've got 7 easy ways to start Japanese language immersion for any level of Japanese. So let's get into it. First on the list, we've got labeling everything in your house in Japanese. This might make you seem a bit unique, especially if you have guests over, but there are some major benefits. Like, you'll see the same set of these words every single day, and with so much exposure, you could learn hundreds of household items without putting in very much work at all. Another major benefit is that you'll start directly associating items to their Japanese word instead of having to translate in your head first. This is a great way to start thinking in Japanese very early on. Okay, the second easiest way to immerse yourself in Japanese is through music, and you can probably immediately think of some problems with this, like the fact that lyrics are often pretty creative and not as natural sounding as conversational Japanese. On top of that, sometimes artists will even use different pronunciations of kanji just to add some poetic meaning or flow to their music. But there's a reason music is number 2 on this list. Music is generally enjoyable to listen to even if you don't understand all the lyrics, whereas with something like a TV show, once you lose the plot, the enjoyment levels plummet. On top of that, you'll generally listen to the same songs over and over again. So if you learn the lyrics to an entire playlist and listen to it frequently, you can easily retain hundreds or even thousands of vocab. Moving on to the third immersion method, we've got watching movies, TV shows, anime, or even YouTube. I've grouped these all into the same category because it's essentially the same type of input. Just watch anything you enjoy watching with Japanese subtitles on. I found that Netflix both has really good subtitles and you can slow down the speed of things, which can be very helpful. This is one of the most beneficial immersion methods. Up until this point, you've probably done most of your learning from a textbook, which has major downsides. Textbooks might dedicate one chapter to vocabulary you use every day on the subway, and another to something like Japanese economics. But TV shows are great at showing you what type of vocabulary is actually used in the day-to-day, and will solidify the vocab you need, while you can supplement with the textbooks for more advanced topics. TV shows are also great for teaching slang and casual Japanese, which textbooks are notoriously bad at. A slight step up from TV shows, at 4th on the list we've got podcasts, which are really good for passive input and you can listen to them just about anywhere. They are a little bit more difficult to watch because you generally won't be listening with subtitles and you lose the benefit of the entertaining visuals. Spotify has a lot of really good podcasts for Japanese listeners, which you can start listening to even if you know no Japanese. Next on the list, we've got reading. This is fairly broad, but manga, news, and short novels are all really good for improving vocabulary and grammar, similar to TV shows. They just come with the added caveat that if you don't know that many kanji, reading can be very tedious. If you're looking for a good place to start, Taroku for books and NHK Japanese for news are 2 really good options. I also really like NHK Japanese for keeping up with current events in Japan, if that's something you're interested in. At the 6th spot, I've got changing your phone language to Japanese. Now, I know this is usually one of the first things people do when they start learning a language, but with kanji, you just don't know what you don't know. Finally, talk to people in Japanese. This seems pretty obvious, but if you have Japanese friends, there's simply no better way to learn. And if you don't, well, that's just sad. But you can still try apps like HelloTalk or italki, although I've heard mixed reviews. I would caution against talking too much to other Japanese learners because you can end up building bad habits together. Of course, any practice is better than nothing, but the more input from native speakers, the better. Just do anything and as much on this list as you enjoy, and hopefully it gives you a good starting place for Japanese immersion. If it does, consider liking and subscribing.